I'm Kylie,
I'm Payton,
and this is Fires of Change. Hello, everybody. Long time no talk here. Ski, all of the above. Today is Thursday, May 1st, 2025. Happy May. Happy new month. Bye, April. April came and went. But yeah, today we are going to be discussing the Tignon laws as well as the Crown Act. But before we get into that, Peyton is going to get us updated with the current events.
Thank you, Kylie. So yeah, for people that haven't heard, stupid ass Trump is imposing tariffs on other countries. So what essentially it is the other countries do not get taxed. They ship their products to America. And then the American companies are the people that pay the tax. And so then what that means essentially is that the American companies then have to raise their prices on American consumers. So it's very an interesting time. I got a little from bbcnews.com. And Apple braces for a $900 million blow from the Trump tariffs. The tariffs on the goods coming in to the US will add nearly $1 billion to Apple's costs. So it's just kind of funny almost in karma ways because I'm pretty sure the CEO was at the inauguration, like sitting right there. So it's just like, you guys are fucking idiots. And also NBC News says product shortages and empty store shelves bloom with failing shipments from China. So businesses have been canceling orders for products from China after the Trump tariff imposed 145% on most Chinese imports, risking product shortages for American consumers. Companies canceling shipments of goods from China and halting orders. So obviously, as a result, the number of freight vessels and that are scheduled to arrive at port in Los Angeles is on track to be down 33% year over year for the week ending in May 10th. So again, like this is basically just stating that our shelves are basically going to be empty. It's going to be kind of like what we saw during COVID, where we weren't able to get the products we needed. There was a bunch of shortages, empty shelves. But then also the products that we do get in are going to be way more expensive. So yeah, fuck you, Trump administration. But that is some of the current shit that's going on in our climate.
Thank you for sharing that, Peyton. Yeah, really crazy times that we're in. So, we don't want to cause any panic or like fear monger or anything. But if you are able to, it is recommended to stock up on, somebody had said alcohol. Basically, just stock up, alcohol, rice, beans,
Beauty
products, especially if you like me, like to use Korean skincare and things like that. I'm not quite sure if things like that are going to be impacted, but you just want to prepare. And yeah, a lot of people are not really spending as much money as they plan to. Maybe if they were planning on buying a new car this year, it's instead of doing that, it's okay, let me just fix what's going on with my current car. Instead of, going on 4 vacations a year, people are looking to kind of size that down to maybe just 1 or maybe nothing at all. So
staycations.
Yeah, staycations or maybe just doing things that are more domestic or road trips or things like that. So if you can, don't panic buy, of course, but make sure that you have what you need and, get connected with your neighbors if you're not already. And if you have space to make a garden, grow some things that, whether that's growing parsley or growing tomatoes or strawberries or I almost said bananas, but don't bananas grow on trees?
They do, actually.
Yeah. So
Also, you can get, there's these outdoor or indoor little, like hydra pots almost, and you can grow like herbs in there and, I think little tiny, vegetables and things like that. But yeah, there's a
Very
bunch of
true.
options.
Yeah, if you don't have, a big, beautiful backyard or really any green space at all, then you can do like the small gardens, like Payton was just saying. Um, but yeah, guys, it's shit's shit's crazy.
Getting
Um,
serious,
you
very
know,
serious.
but we will persevere because that's all we can do. Um, Speaking of perseverance in the face of oppression, um, with the Tignon laws, for those who are not aware, the Tignon laws was a piece of legislation that was passed in Louisiana back in 1786. Yes, 1786. And so the whole reason that that law was passed was because Black women, Creole women, as well as biracial women were wearing little adornments in their hair, such as like feathers or little charms or um, the little pretty combs or, just whatever, just really pretty things like in their curls. And the white men loved it. Like, I don't know. They just were really fucking with it. And the white women were not liking that. The white men loved it. So they were like, they went to the government in Louisiana, the governor actually. And they're like, yeah, we're not fucking with the fact that they are putting all this stuff in their hair. And, it's so different from ours. And like, our husbands are going crazy and we cannot have that. So the governor, what is his name? Ernesto, no, not Ernesto. Esteban Rodriguez did pass that law in, again, 1786. And the law stated that any Black woman or biracial woman or Creole, just any woman who had any Black ancestry or, yeah, ancestry, um, would have to cover their hair in just like a plain cloth whenever they're out in public. And so they, did that. They covered their hair in headscarves or cloths or, just made sure that their hair was covered. And, but they kind of got around the rule by still putting like the feathers and the little charms and stuff in on the headscarf as opposed to their hair. So instead of what's the word? Instead of like decreasing their beauty, which is what that law was intended to do, it just honestly really accentuated it.
Mhm.
And yeah, the issue that they were trying to stop kept on going on. And so
And like the influence from that, like then you started to see people around the world. Like I think it was it like Queen Elizabeth. There was a queen in Britain basically that saw that style and then started to wear it too. So it's like then it created a trend basically for people to do that. Like again, like Black women are the blueprint.
so it's just yeah, it was just really crazy that like they did all that just because they were jealous, because it's just
Mhm.
like I can't help. Sorry, Ellie. I'm just here, I can't help the way I look, and that people are attracted to that. So it's it does have a lot to do with hair is just, I think a lot of people like trivialize it, but it's just, for everybody, the hair is very important, but
Mhm.
specifically for Black women, specifically because we have so much, I mean, for somebody to go as far as to create a law saying that you have to cover your hair, um, is crazy, or telling people how they should wear their hair is crazy. And
Yeah.
so that's
That's literally
why,
fascism.
yeah, it's just like, why do you need to police the way that people's hair comes out of their head naturally,
Mhm.
um and so with a lot of times people ask like why do black people feel like they're the only ones that can wear braids or locks or not those types of hairstyles, and it's because we get discriminated against because of it. Like it's
Mhm.
literally I it's I don't know, it's actually really crazy just like to go through to make styles specifically for your type of hair and then to be ridiculed for it. But then after being ridiculed for it, to see other people like bastardize it and then try to take it for themselves.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's why I know everybody's kind of opinions are different, but I feel like most black women do not co-sign other races wearing those specific types of hairstyles just because first of all it's not good for other
Yeah.
you
It
know
okay, I wanna co-sign on that too, because as a white woman, you should not wear box braids if you are a white woman or honestly, any woman that doesn't have curly hair. Like, I have seen a very small amount of a population have the hair that could actually wear protective style with braids, and it would actually be good for their hair, but again, that's probably, like, 1% of the population as far as being non-black. But yeah, I as a hairstylist as well, I just think it honestly it makes me laugh at this point because I'm like, you are gonna fuck up your hair so bad because the science behind it is we all have follicles on our hair. If your hair texture is more straight, you're gonna have a more circular follicle. So that's why like people with straight hair, usually white people with straight hair, have tend to get more greasy hair because the oil or the sebum comes from this scalp very easily. So the more curly your hair gets, your follicle almost tightens, like it creates more of a oval, and the tighter the curl, the smaller the oval. And so that's why when you have curlier hair, you need to add moisture to it because the sebum doesn't travel down the hair shaft as easily. So that's why for protective styles, it only like box braids and things like that, it only um, works for that hair texture because for one, the hair texture can support that weight. But for two, you're adding oils over time and you can go longer. When white people get braids like that, their hair is more greasy. So the grease is basically sitting on your scalp, and it can cause hair loss. It's not the correct tension. It can cause traction alopecia. So that's why when you see these white girls take out these box braids, you're like, oh my God, all your hair's falling out because again, it's not a style made for you. So as a hairstylist, white people stop getting box braids and protective styles like that. It's not for your hair. Weird too.
plus it just looks crazy like
It
it
does.
just
It
never
doesn't look good.
looks it's just
It never looks good.
some things are not for everybody,
Yeah.
and people will always say like, oh okay, so if we can't wear if we can't wear black hairstyles, then black people shouldn't wear blonde hair
Oh my
or
God.
they shouldn't wear straight hair or whatever. And it's just like, listen, man, people always bring up those little black
Mhm.
kids in like Melanesia that have naturally blonde hair. And yes, let's face it, most black people do not have naturally blonde hair, but hair color is hair color. And for black people, a lot of a lot of us grew up thinking that, if you have a certain type of hair, if you have rougher hair or shorter hair or coarser hair, that that's not good hair. If you have longer hair or silkier hair, straighter hair, then that's good hair. Um, we have been told that we need to relax our hair to be, or, wear straight weaves or whatever the fuck to, assimilate better into American culture. I mean, we just had to pass the Crown Act, which passed in 2024, or as of 2024, 25 states. So half the country did pass the Crown Act. And, ooh, excuse me. The purpose of the Crown Act is to prevent discrimination against natural hairstyles, styles such as afros, locks, braids, etc., both in the workplace and in K through 12 schools. So the Crown Act and Crown stands for creating a respectful and open world for natural hair. And so it was first passed in California, but then again moved to other states. And they did various studies. They did a study in 2023, they did a study in 2019, as well as 2021. And so, excuse me. So one of the studies was focusing more on like girls in K through 12 and like how they feel about their hair and things like that. Another study was focused more so on like Black women in the workplace, or just women in the workplace in general. Because of course, when you're doing a study, you have to have other people to compare to. Um, and so they did find that Black women are 1.1.5 times more likely to be sent home for their hair and the way it looks. 66% of Black girls in majority white schools report discrimination based on their hair. 25% of Black women felt that they were denied interviews due to their hair. 2/3 of Black women reported changing their hair for an interview. And so, you shouldn't have to go and straighten your hair like just to go for an interview. You shouldn't have to relax your hair just to go on an interview. You should be able to wear your hair the way that it grows out of your
Mhm.
head, and somebody um judge you based on what's on your resume, as opposed to what you look like. And there is talk of professionalism and what that looks like, and even the concept of professionalism is rooted in white supremacy as well,
Mhm.
because it's just, why do I have to, if I can do the job, like, why do I have to, I don't know. And it's a slippery slope, because the way things are here in America, everything is based off of white supremacy. And I think it's hard for a lot of people to like register that, because it's like, what do you mean
Mhm.
it's based off of white supremacy? But I mean, being turned away from a job despite you have the qualifications to do the job, you have the education level, or you have the experience, or whatever it is that they're looking for, but they turned you away because you didn't have the right name, or they turned you away because your hair wasn't looking the way that it was supposed to, or
I mean, yeah, and even just the laws that were in place for hair, like, you cannot go out with your natural hair, you have to cover your hair, like, until it's like, that's a systematic thing. Like, and that's why I feel like a lot of, for instance, white people don't understand about the whole conversation. Is like, well, why can't I do it? And like you said with the whole well, Black people can't wear blonde hair. It's like those are two entirely separate things. Like, that does not equate to another. Like, there is a law in place to discriminate against Black people and especially Black women. So it's like, until that's addressed, and 25 states, it should be every single state. That's actually ridiculous.
yeah. And what's crazy is, so there's this one, I first remember hearing about this particular case, I think a couple of years ago. So it was this boy in Texas. His name is Daryl George, and he was, during the 2023 to 2024 school year, he was put in school suspension, like basically the whole school year, because of his locks, because they were too long. And I guess the school had a rule that boys can now have hair longer than their eyebrows or longer than their ears, even if
That's so
it's
weird.
like put up.
That's weird.
Yeah, because it's just like, what does somebody's hair have to do
Yeah.
with like them being a student, like
Yeah.
them being a good student, like,
Yeah. Like, we do not need to be policing children like that. That's so weird.
Exactly. And what's crazy is that Texas is one of the states that passed the
Hmm.
Crown Act. Yet one of the judges that ruled on the case said that the school district did not violate that law, because the Crown Act has nothing to say about, like, length. It's just about not discriminating based off of the hairstyle itself. But it's
But
just like you're
forcing a
still
kid to cut their hair because it doesn't meet your standard is literally violating that, like, that's weird.
yeah, so it's just really shitty that they still were able to find a way to, oppress that boy. And I think
Mhm.
at this point, because I think he was 17 at that time, so it's just like that was either his junior year or his senior year, and he had to miss out on all of the things that come along with those years because his locks were too long. Like,
Like, it's just
it's
so
very crazy.
stupid, like, and that's why, like, again, as a hairstylist, people's hair mean everything to them, like, you get about even, like, if you get a bad haircut and you wanna cry and whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you get your hair fried off, I mean, I've seen clients lose it to cancer, like, it's just so important, and I've even seen horrible videos of, like, parents cutting their kids' hair out of punishment, which I think
Mhm.
is psychological abuse. I
It
would
sure is,
if a
yeah.
parent took their kid and said, "Cut off their hair," and they're crying, "Sorry, I'm not gonna do it." Like, I'm good, I'm not gonna play into that. But yeah, it's a really psychological thing, and again, then you put into people are not thinking about cultural or religious practices of maybe not cutting your hair, or cutting your hair at a certain point, or,
Mhm.
I know some cultures, on our hairstylist forum, like, some of their clients don't want their hair thrown away, they take all their hair and they
Mhm.
burn it after. So
Mhm.
there's just it's so important, and again, it's your crown chakra, like, it's very important, and it's very spiritual in a sense to people, and so to force someone to do something with their appearance and their hair, because it doesn't fit your standard is just so gross to me. And that's just traumatizing to the individual that's, being forced to do something with their hair.
For sure, yeah, it's a very horrible thing to do to somebody. Um, I think, like you said, like, for women, like, hair is for a lot of us, it's our source of femininity, or it's what makes us feel very feminine. When you have very long hair, you feel like that bitch.
Mhm.
So, um, I totally agree with people cutting their kids' hair off, especially like video,
Oh
recording it
my
and then
god,
uploading. It's
yeah.
just like, whoa, like you're
Like,
ugh, scared
I'm
of
gonna
you.
call CPS. Like, that to me is just so, like, psychologically beyond fucked up.
Yeah, because it's just like the act itself, and then you recording it, and then you showing it to everybody, and
Mhm.
it's just like, what is the point of that? And I think so. Yesterday, I love a documentary. I don't like it. Doesn't even matter what the documentary is about. Like, I'll watch it. And so yesterday, I was watching a documentary about the Vietnam War, and just how it started, and just how it really changed. Uh, hmm. It opened a lot of Americans' eyes to the way, like, Americans and just like the world in general, but to how the way that the American government will say they're doing one thing and then, like, do something totally different. Um, and so anyways, as we know, like, when people go into the military, typically they'll, like, shave your head, or they'll, like, give you that, like, really close buzz cut. And I think now that we're talking about it, it's definitely interesting that, and it's intentional that they do that, because it's like, yeah, we're stripping you of your
Mhm.
individuality and who you are, and everybody's gonna have the same haircut because you're all the same. And um, they were saying, so I send you that lady who is always knitting, and she's
Mhm.
talking about the military industrial complex because she used to be in the military, and she used to, I think she said she was, like, born into a cult. And so she is always talking about culting, and, like, how the US military is a cult. And she is always talking about how with cults, you don't want to stand out. Like, the worst thing you can do is, be an individual, or, like, how, be so different that you have, like, a target on you. So, yeah, that just made me think of, like, wow, it's really hmm, a yeah, I don't know. It's something basically they do that for a reason. Like they don't
Yeah.
like I already said, they don't want you to be an individual. They want everybody to be the same.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, I'm now thinking about America's Next Top Model, and you know how Tara used to put them girls through hell. Like
Ugh.
girls would come in with like the
Yes.
longest, most beautiful hair, and then she would like
Be like, shave it off or cut it short. If they did that to me, I would have been like, I'm quitting. I'm getting
like,
off. You're
oh
not touching
my
my hair.
god. And the
No.
crazy thing is they'd cut their hair off like that and then send them home the next week, and it's just
Yes.
like, damn, like
Like, you guys are bitches for that. Honestly, that whole show, like, some of the shit psychologically fucked up. I remember this one episode, and this girl, her friend, just died. And they did the episode where it was like the
the
seven deadly
graves,
sins
yeah.
in the grave. Like,
I was like,
that's
wow.
wow. Wow.
She's like, yeah, I don't know if I can do this. Like, my friend just died, and they're like, well, I don't remember exactly what they said, but basically it was giving like
Do it or you're getting kicked
people die
off.
every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tyra.
That was a time to be alive watching that show.
No, literally, I used to love that. I wanted to be on that show so bad.
No,
I swore I was gonna be
literally.
on that show, but no. Like, she used to put them girls through hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, hair is very important, and I I wish that it wasn't so heavily policed, because even outside of like systemic things, like I just remember, so I work from home, which I love. I love working remote. I will never work in an office again if I have any, you know, choice in it. But yeah, I just remember whenever like I would get a new hairstyle, I would always be so anxious, like coming into work or even like
Mhm.
going to school, because it's just like, oh my God, someone's gonna say something like I don't mind somebody saying like, oh my gosh, you know, I love your new hairstyle, like it
Yeah.
looks so good. Keep it at that. I don't know why people can't keep it at that. Like, you know, if a black lady is coming up to me and asking like, oh my gosh, where'd you get
Mhm.
your hair done? Like, where did you get the hair? Who did it? Fine. Love it. I'll give you my braider's information. I'll give you whoever's information. I don't care. But like, it just, anybody else, like, it literally just makes you feel like you're in a fucking zoo. Like, cause it's just so like, oh my gosh, like, how long did it take you to get done? Like, okay, so is that your real hair? Like, how do they like braid it in there? And oh my God, you sat there for 4 hours? I can never. And it's just like, oh my God, like,
And PSA for people,
oh,
stop touching other
please.
people's hair.
Yeah, that too.
Stop. Stop. Never do it. It's always rude. Again, you don't know people's spiritual or religious practices, so that's kind of invading people's space. So let's not do it. It's not cool.
It's just, you know, read the room. You
Yeah.
know, like even me, like I like to, some people's hair is really beautiful, but I will always ask, like, is it okay for me to pull your little, like I have a friend and her curls are so beautiful. And whenever she like just wears it out, I just love to play in her hair. But like I always ask her, even though I know like she doesn't mind me like playing with her hair, I'm like, oh, you know, is it okay? And last time I was doing it, she was like, because I was like just like pulling like the little curl, and she took my hand. She was like, get in there, massage my scalp. So, you know, you just have to read the room. But like
Yeah.
going up to, but yeah, like you said, I would not recommend. I think it's one thing if you have a close relationship with somebody, and you know they tell you like, oh, it's okay if you know play with my hair, but like to go up to a random person, or to just go up to somebody and just like put your hands in their hair, like that's
Mhm.
crazy as fuck.
Mhm.
And yeah, there was like, I remember working at the schoolhouse, like, because I used to be a lot more adventurous with my hair, and I still am, but I remember there was this one time I had these really, really long cornrows, and I had beads at the end, and this lady that I worked with came up and she was like, oh my gosh, I love your hair. And then she touched it, and I was just like, girl, like, and I couldn't even like, it was just too quick, so I couldn't like stop it.
Mhm. Well, and
You
then
know,
it's
and it's,
probably on your side. You're like, well, I don't want to look rude, but also like, why are you being rude and touching me? Like,
yeah.
can you just not?
Yeah, and it's like, why would you put somebody in that situation?
Yeah.
Because, you know, there are lots of things that I'm like, wow, I would love to, her hair is so beautiful, I would love to touch it, but I'm not a
Mhm.
weirdo.
Mhm.
So I don't go
Well,
up and touch their hair. Like,
no,
what the fuck?
literally. Honestly, I don't want people to touch my hair. Like, get your greasy hands out of my hair. Like, now you're gonna make it greasy. It's fresh and clean. Like, don't do that. Or
Yeah.
even my face. Don't touch my fucking face. Like, I'm gonna break out.
Just don't touch me, like,
Don't
period.
touch me.
Any part of me, please.
But yeah, honestly, even sometimes like I'll forget, like, because obviously I'm a hairstylist, like whatever, and I like to talk about hair, but then I realize like sometimes not everyone knows I'm a hairstylist, so I don't want to come off like weird and like over whatever about people's hair. But then usually when I'm like, oh, I do hair, they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And that, like, makes sense. Like, it's something you're passionate about. Like, it's your expertise area, but, you're still respectful with it. So,
Yeah,
yeah, hair is,
it's a big topic.
it's a big topic for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it's an important one.
it is.
We all need to know how to take care of our hair, whether
Mm-hmm.
we have straight hair or curly hair or long hair or short hair or colored or not colored or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, no, and that's so true. Like, obviously being in Colorado, it's really dry here. So a lot of times people get like build up, itchy scalp, but then it's like it feels like their hair's maybe really greasy, but like the ends are dry. So I just kind of wanted to go over like some little tips and tricks for that. So the first thing we want to talk about is your brush. A lot of people do like the wet brushes, which wet brushes are good to brush out your wet hair, but they're not really exfoliating your scalp at all. So what I like to do is go through, brush my hair with a boar bristle brush. And then I really like to do, like, I do this all before I shower. And then I like to do the Miel scalp oil, um, like rosemary scalp oil. Put that on for maybe an hour. Then you want to brush through that. And you can do things called scientific brushing, which is just basically brushing your natural oils from your scalp down to your ends. So it works
Hmm.
really good to do it right before you shower. So your hair's like as greasy as it can be. And that's going to promote exfoliation on the scalp, healthy hair growth. It's gonna get blood flow circulation. So it's really good to do before the shower. And then it's also gonna loosen up all the dead skin on your scalp. So then when you do go to wash it, it washes out better. So yeah, then you're gonna go in the shower, you're gonna wash your hair. If your hair is super, super greasy, you can wash it with a clarifying shampoo first and then wash it with like a maybe moisture shampoo. Or if your hair is just kind of and you just really need one shampoo, then I would just do the moisture shampoo. And then I like to follow that up with like a nice hair mask. Um, and then rinse that out. And then when you get out, because I kind of like to replace my conditioner with a hair mask. I would say in the winter, maybe every other. I wash my hair once a week. It kind of depends how much people wash their hair, but yeah, I just like to replace my conditioner with a mask because it just gets more nutrients in there, and especially because it's so dry. Um, but yeah, a lot of the times when our hair or scalp gets dry, it tries to overcompensate and make it more greasy. So that's why people are like, oh, let me dry out my scalp more. And they'll do like head and shoulders or like a tea tree shampoo. And in reality, it's just like your scalp's kind of dry. And so you need to kind of rebalance the pH. But yeah, then I would always follow up with a leave in before you brush your hair. But yeah, leave in and then brush your hair and then you can, go ahead with your normal styling routine. Um, Always use heat protectant if you're using heat. I know people don't think it makes that big of a deal, but it definitely does. But yeah, that's a little bit of tips and tricks for anyone that has dry scalp or itchy scalp or super oily hair or want to grow out their hair.
Hmm. I did not know about scientific brushing
Mhm.
or that the scalp has a certain pH balance. Um, so thank you for teaching me
Yeah,
that.
of course.
Very cool. Very cool. Um, yeah, I'm trying to I wanna be more, like, adventurous with my hair just because I'm more of a like, it's either natural or braided. So I don't really like, as a kid, I used to get my hair relaxed, but I stopped
Okay.
when I was about, I think, 15, 16, just because I was like, no."
Honestly, I get why people do it, but as a hairstylist, it's like the chemicals are really, really harsh on your skin. And I just think having to do it as much as you do, like it's like, and if people don't do it correctly, they can fuck your shit up and just like fry your hair off. But yeah, as a hairstylist, the older I get, I'm moving more towards like natural and like what's healthy for you and your scalp and your body. And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan.
Yeah, that's really the main reason why I stopped. Just and also, like, I didn't wanna have damaged hair anymore, like, like, I remember when my hair was relaxed, it was so thin, and now it's very thick. Um, so, yeah, I'm glad I stopped when I did. Um,
How many years did you do?
um, I don't know, like, cause my mom, like, my mom was never somebody who knew how to, do hair.
Okay.
So she would always take me to, the hair salon, and it would either be getting braids or, getting my hair relaxed. So, yeah. And then I remember I had to do it for somebody's wedding, and I was just like, or I think that was the last time I did it because I was like, I don't even want to relax
Mm.
my hair. And they're like, well, you're gonna be in the wedding, so you need to. And it's just like, girl, fuck you. That's why they're divorced now. Ah, um, but yeah.
And then what was the process like growing it out? Like, did you just how did you do that? Did you do a big chop or did you just let it slowly grow out?
I didn't really do like specifically a big chop, like, because there was just a point where I would just have it braided all the time,
Okay.
and then like I would cut off like the relaxed part. And then once I went to college is like when I really started like understanding how to do my hair. And then yeah, now it's pretty like I don't really have any issues with it, but I want to my thing is like I need to be more consistent with trims because it's not like I don't trim my hair very often. And last time I did, I had a lot of like she had to cut not a lot off, but she cut a good amount off because it was, there were split ends because I just hadn't trimmed it. And if I hadn't, it would have been when she straightened it, I think it was mm, like bra strap length.
Oh, wow. Cute.
Yeah. But now it's like the middle, the middle of my shoulder, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and that's like I feel like as a hairstylist, like people think it's a myth, but what happens if you don't get consistent trims is like, let's say the bottom inch of your hair has split ends. And if you were to get regularly that trimmed off, it would be able to grow and not split up. But let's say you go 6 months, 8 months without a trim, that 1 inch of split ends turns into two or three. So then it just kind of almost keeps breaking off and shutting off. So for people that are like, why is my hair never growing? Well, it's because you gotta just kind of bite the bullet and do a chop and then it'll grow out. But yeah.
yeah. So I just want to be, I guess, because I'm going to take my hair out of these braids probably maybe this weekend or next week. I don't know. Time is ticking. Um, but yeah, so I dyed my hair for the first time at the beginning of the year, and then now I'm trying to figure out if I want to keep dyeing it or not. But I was thinking about getting a sew-in, but then yeah, sew-in, but then I didn't want to deal with like the whole leave out thing. Like that's the whole and then with wigs, like I just don't like it's too much for me sensory wise.
Mhm.
I just really don't like not being able to touch my scalp. So then maybe I could get a U-part wig, like, I don't know, it's just options are many
Mhm.
and time is little.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what I want to what I want to do with my hair. And then I was thinking maybe I should cut it a little bit. I don't want to cut it. So I don't know.
I get you. I feel like now I'm in a state where I'm just like, I've had some hair trauma and I'm just like, I want it to grow as long as I can. I'll just keep trimming it. But also, like, I feel like my scalp was a little too sensitive for me to do color on this scalp. So I started just doing like almost foiling it, but with my red hair color. And I just feel like that's been making me feel better. Cause I don't know, like my little what is this like hairline, it just feels like it's getting a little bit scary and
Mm.
like a little breakage, I would say. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna take a little break with the and just do toners or something.
Yeah. It's always good to give your hair a break.
Mhm. Like chemicals and stuff. Like, I
Hmm.
don't know. I know in my work field, it's like I think MS is very high. I think it's I want to say either uterine or bladder cancer. But it's like, yeah, I'm just around these chemicals all day, every day, which I'm kind of bad at. Like when I rinse out toners or apply toners, I'm supposed to wear gloves. I don't. When I foil someone's hair, I'm supposed to wear gloves. I don't. So yeah, I have noticed some weird like skin things happening. So I've been trying to be a little bit better about that because a lot of hairstylists become allergic to hair product and then they can't like work anymore, or like nail artists too with like the acrylic. So yeah, I mean it's I'm working with chemicals all day, so it's definitely, probably not the best for my body, but I guess when you dye, they have found hair behind hairstylist eyes.
What?
Yeah. So I'm taking my clients with me, I guess, when I
Oh my
go.
God.
There will always be a piece of them with me.
That's crazy.
But yeah, like the hair that gets in your clothes, like I wear the same 5 outfits to wear because it's like I am an Adam Sandler hairstylist. Like I'm gonna be comfy. My hair is gonna be up. It's gonna be back. Like the goal is for your hair to turn out the best it possibly can. And if I'm cute with my hair down and I'm wearing a hat or wearing some heels, like all I'm gonna think about all day is the sensory aspect of that. And I'm not gonna really give a shit about your hair. So I'm a comfortable hairstylist. Most of my clients that come into comfy, like I could never work at a bougie salon where you have to get like super ready like that. Like we're here to chill. Also, please stop wearing your cute outfits there. You could get hair color on them. So don't get mad at me if hair color gets on your clothes. Wear ugly clothes. I have a couple clients that wear the same shirt every time. I would prefer that.
Yeah, because you don't want to. Yeah, dying is just a lot.
Mhm.
It's just a lot going on. Like that stuff stinks
Mhm.
real bad, and I. But yeah, it has chemicals in it, so duh.
Yeah. Yeah, and like
But
perms and stuff. Oh my god, they
mhm,
smell like farts. They're like rotten eggs.
yeah,
I don't do perms anymore. I'm fucking good on the perms.
yeah, definitely felt that. Um, but we are going to throw it to Sam for his fun fact.
Thank you so much, Kylie, for passing the ball back over. Today is going to be a fun fact coming from goodnewsnetwork.org. And the title of this is called Taylor Guitars Made from Condemned Urban Trees and Imperfect Ebony Are Saving Money, Carbon, and the Amazon. Cool little good news story, I feel like, in this day and age. This is from yesterday, April 30th, 2025. Guitar manufacturers like Taylor and Griffin are utilizing native California trees to mark for removal in the state's urban area to birth a new generation of acoustic instruments. The motive? Helping musicians and consumers dodge the increasing price for prized woods needed to make guitars, as well as helping memorialize condemned native trees in the state. Rosewood, ebony, and mahogany are 3 major wood types being used to craft guitars from major guitar realtors. You may also see these woods mentioned while reading news reports about the ongoing deforestation in the Amazon. So, What about the guitars made from chamois ash, red ironbark, or black acacia, which are native to California? These three species are now being used by Taylor guitars and griffin stringed instruments, which are commonly found growing along sidewalks and median strips all over Central and North California. Playing a lead role in this movement is West Coast Arborists, short for WCA, a family-run business of tree surgeons that manage urban trees for 320 towns and municipalities, public agencies, and private communities in 4 different states. WCA also believes that a large urban tree deserves to have a second life and that these species, which shade us and our dogs, offer quality crafted ready lumber. And that has been Sam's Fun Facts.
Wow.
Very cool.
That's cool that they're like trying to do something good. And then it also helps with, the tariffs and all the bullshit going on.
True, yeah. Sustainable, stopping deforestation in the Amazon, which is a very um important rainforest. There's a lot of that's where a lot of our medicines come from. So it's really cool that they're doing that. And honestly, while you were talking about that, that reminded me of I did see this lady on TikTok. I believe she was from Nigeria. She found a way to make like braiding hair from like plantain fibers.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's good because there's also been a lot of forever chemicals found in a lot of braiding hair.
Mhm.
And there's some kind of I think there's maybe some lawsuits going on now about it. Because it's found in a lot of braiding hair. But yeah, like a really good alternative, and it's healthy, it's natural, sustainable.
Mhm. Yeah, so there was another I cannot remember the name of the brand. I cannot remember the name of the lady and I cannot remember the name of the brand, but I know there's another person that's making brand or a couple of brands that are making reusable braiding hair that's not made from like the typical Kanekalon and stuff like that. So very, very cool. Um And so, yes, thank you so much for tuning in to this Thursday's episode. We appreciate your support and your time. And I'm Kylie,
I'm Payton.
and
And
this
this
has
has
been
been
Fires
Fires
of
of
Change.
Change.
Hey guys, Kylie here. Thank you so much for supporting our show. It has been a blast sharing our thoughts with you all. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to be expanding our social media presence from just being on Spotify. We are going to be expanding to some other apps.
Yeah. We right now are on Twitch. You can watch every episode early before we even air it on Spotify. So if you like to watch us, please add us on Twitch at Fires of Change. And we also are going to be soon expanding into Instagram and eventually YouTube. So when we get that set up, we will let everyone know. And yeah, thanks. If you love what you hear and see here, give us a follow, especially on Spotify, and tell your friends. Thank you guys for listening.